Hello, dear friends. Welcome to Preparation Katta. So, last week we have covered problems on train, and this week our topic is boats and streams. So, this topic is important for MPSC and UPSC exam, and we are going to cover all the problems by considering you are preparing for either MPSC Rajyaseva examination or UPSC Civil Service examination. Okay. Now, before jumping into the formula, so what we will do, we will see some basic concepts. Okay. So now in this topic, we have to remember that the speed of boat is u, speed of stream is v. Now the speed of boat is in still water. Okay. We also call it as like a no current. Okay. The water is still, and in the still water, the speed of a boat is u. Then for speed of stream, or like a speed of water flow, we will use v. Now tell me, if this is the boat moving in this direction and the stream of water, okay, or a current flow is in the same direction, tell me the boat speed will be, the overall, you will cover distance early, right? So this we call it as downstream. So let us consider a person, okay, who is swimming, okay, in the water. He is going in this direction, and water is also flowing in this direction. So we will say that person is, swimming in downstream direction. So this is one of the concept we need to remember. And for downstream, we are going to use capital D. Now, similarly, imagine, okay, now again, here is a boat which is moving in this direction, but the speed of the stream, okay, or the current flow is in the opposite direction of that boat. That means this boat is going against the stream speed. So this condition we call it as upstream. Similarly, let us take an example of a man who is swimming in this direction, but the water is flowing in this direction. And such scenario we call it as upstream, and for upstream we are going to use u later. So this is okay. Now, some of the lecturers or teachers will say you, for example, if in a problem, okay, d and u are given, then we have to find out the speed of the boat, which we considered as a u, or a speed of the man. So for both in such problems, we are going to consider u, and v is the speed of stream. So either they will ask to calculate this or this. So prior to that, let us understand these terminologies first. So in terms of downstream, consider the velocity of the boat is u and velocity of the stream is v. So the downstream will be what? It will be summation, right? Just imagine this boat will go faster in this direction, right? When the current flow and boat are moving in the same direction. And hence there will be the summation of speeds. Now in case of upstream, now just imagine if a person is swimming against the stream flow, it will take more time. That means the speed will reduced, and hence for upstream it will be u minus v. What is u? Either speed of boat or speed of man, depending upon what is given in the problem, and v is always speed of stream. So now we have formulae for both downstream and upstream. Okay. So this thing is clear. Now what I was explaining is, in problem either they will give downstream and upstream, and they will ask to calculate what is the speed of boat, and what is the speed of current. So for that, they, like, some of the teachers will directly give you the formula, like boat speed is equals to d plus u divided by 2, and the stream speed, okay, stream speed, which is v, is equals to d minus u divided by 2. But we know the exam pressure is so high that remembering these formulas will be very difficult. So in my opinion, we need not to remember these formulae. Now you will say why? Because we know this, right? With the logic of this diagram, we can at least remember these two formulae. Now I'll just write down, side by side. So d is equals to u plus v. In a downstream, the speed of the boat or the speed of man will be higher, and in upstream there will be u minus v. Now just try to add this equation 1 and equation 2. So just do 1 plus 2. Okay, so on LHS side it will be like d plus u, and that will be equals to u plus u is 2u, and v minus v is like a 0, and hence u is equals to d plus u divided by 2. And this is what this formula is, right? And hence in examination you need not to remember such formula. Now again, if you put the u value, again you will get a v value like d minus u divided by 2, and this is this formula, right? So my intention here is not to, um, try do not try to remember each and every formula. So sometimes just logic will work out. Now just to summarize, okay, we have as of now only two formulas. We have like for downstream and for upstream. Again I'm telling you, the speed of the boat we have to remember u, speed of the stream we have to remember it as v. For a downstream it is d, for upstream it is u. Now let us move to some examples to understand these concepts better. Okay, so let's start with an example. So this is like a kind of UPSC's favorite type. So let's first go through the question. So the one thing you have to remember while reading the question itself, you have to note down what is given in the problem. Okay. So let's read out the problem. A man can row 6 km per hour in still water. Okay. That means man, okay, speed is given like 6 km per hour. If the speed of the current is 2 km per hour, speed of the current, that means V is given 2 km per hour. It takes him 4 hours more in upstream than the downstream. Okay, so downstream and upstream. Now in downstream, the man and the stream are in the same direction, and hence they will move faster, right? And hence there will be summation. Hence downstream is equals to u plus v, and that will be equals to like 6 plus 2 is 8 km per hour, and in upstream it will be u minus v, that is 6 minus 2, that will be equals to 4 km per hour. Now let us consider for downstream, if it was taking time t, in upstream it is taking 4 hours more. Okay, so t hours if it was taking it for downstream. Okay, to row upstream it will take t plus 4 hours, that is for sure. And in train problems we have seen for like speed, time, distance problem, we have only one formula. And what is that formula? Speed is equals to distance divided by time. Now we know the downstream speed, we know the upstream speed, we know the time, required for a downstream and time required to row upstream. And what they asked is find the distance. So we have to find out the distance. Now let us consider the first case. For downstream, we will calculate the things. So using this same formula, now tell me
For a downstream, the speed is how much? So that is d, and d is how much? 8. So 8 is equals to, then distance. Okay, so distance is same distance for upstream and downstream, so let us consider the distance is small d, and the time required for a downstream is how much? T hours. So I'll put it as t, and hence from this equation, shall I write d is equals to 8t? Mark it as equation number 1. Now similarly do it for upstream. Now in case of upstream, again use the same formula. So speed is how much? 4 kilometer per hour. Distance is same, small d, and the time required to row the upstream is t plus 4 hours. Now from that equation, try to write in terms of d. So that will be equals to, so this will go this side, so that will be equals to 40 plus 16, right? Now tell me, this distance, and say let's say equation number 2, this distance is same. That means equation number 1 is equals to equation number 2, right? Because our LHS, this d and this d are same, so just equate RHS. So 8t is equals to 40 plus 16, and hence you can, okay, just find out the value of t. 40 is equals to 16, and hence t is equals to 4 hours. Now we know the value of t. So t is equals to 4 hours. So to row downstream, it will take, a man will take 4 hours, and to row upstream, it will take how much time? 4 plus 4 hours. That means 8 hours it will take, right? Now what we have to find out? We have to find out a distance. So use either of the case. Okay, use equation number 1 or equation number 2 and put the value of t. So equation number 1 I will write as it is here. D is equals to 8t, and t is how much? 4 hours. So 8 into 4, that is equals to 32. Okay, and hence d is equals to 32 kilometer. That is our answer. Okay, so as this was a first problem, I have explained in detail, but in examination you need not to write all these things. Okay, in a short way, within a minute, I'll say, like within 50 seconds you will be able to solve these problems. Just one thing you have to do is practice. You cannot run from the practice. Okay, now let's see some types of examples which are asked in UPSC and MPSC examinations. Okay, let's move to those problems now.
Before moving to like the types of problems which are asked in MPSC and UPSC, now let us derive one equation which is like a preparation katta special. So nowhere or no other teacher will tell you this thing. Okay, now or they will hesitate to tell this because they will see, okay, this is difficult to understand, but it is not. Okay, and for those students whose like memory is sharp, they can directly remember the option which is useful for some other problems, okay, for solving other problems, and we will see, okay, the immediate next problem. So let us try to understand, okay, what is given. Okay, let's see. A man takes n times as long to row a boat upstream as he does to row it downstream. So what is given? A man like who is swimming. Okay, if he is swimming in the direction of, let's say, stream, where its speed is u and stream speed is v, which is given in the next statement, right? The speed of the boat is u kilometer per hour. Okay, that man is sitting inside a boat. Okay, and hence consider this boat and consider this man. Okay, they are moving with u, and the speed of the stream is v, and the second condition is given. They are also going or covering the same distance.
Okay, let us say they are moving in this direction and the stream is moving in this direction. Here again U and V. Okay, so this is downstream, this is upstream, right? So for downstream, capital D, and we know this boat will move faster, right? And hence there will be summation of speeds. And for upstream, okay, the boat will move slowly and hence there will be subtraction and U is equals to U minus V. Now what they have given, if for example in downstream the time taken by boat to cover the same distance as of upstream, it was t, but in upstream it was taking n times of t. That is what given. I'll read it again. A man takes n times as long as to row a boat in upstream, right? In upstream it is taking n times compared to downstream. And what we have to find out, what is the ratio of boat in still water? Now we know the speed of boat is u in still water to the speed of stream. So u by v is equals to what? So this we have to find out. And the options which are given like n plus 1 divided by n minus 1, n minus 1 divided by n plus 1 and blah blah blah. That means we have to derive this equation in terms of n. Right, now let's try to solve this problem same as of last problem. So we know speed is equals to distance divided by time, and here they are saying it is the same distance for upstream and downstream, and hence can you write this distance is equals to speed into time? I can write, and the distance covered in upstream, let's say it is du, and distance covered in downstream it's dd. So we know that distance in upstream is equals to distance in downstream. Now distance is equals to speed into time, so speed, upstream speed is how much? So it is capital U, right? Capital U, and the time required is how much? T. Whereas in downstream, okay, so in upstream the time required is n times of t, whereas in a downstream the speed is capital D and the time required is t. Now what is u? Again in upstream it is u minus v. I'll write u minus v into n into capital T is equals to, now for this D, capital D, it is u plus v. Okay, again this time is t. So can I cancel out this time from both the sides? Okay, and let's try to simplify this equation again. So solve this bracket. So n into u minus n into v is equals to u plus v. Now I want my equation in terms of u by v. So can I do one thing? I'll just divide like every number by v. Sounds good, right? So what I will have, so I will have n in bracket u by v, the first one, then minus, here v get cancelled, it's only n, equal to, again here it is u by v, okay, plus v by v is 1. So till here the concept is clear. Now like solving it further, now here u by v, if I consider it as a one number, I'll try to bring in this direction. So n as it is, here the coefficient is 1, hence n minus 1 because this is coming to this side, and then u by v as it is, okay, equals to this 1 as it is, and this n is going in this direction, sign here is minus, and hence it will become plus. And therefore u by v is equals to, shall I write like n plus 1 divided by, now this will go in denominator and that will become n minus 1. Now check which option is this. The option number 1, right? N plus 1 divided by n minus 1. Hence option number 1 is correct. So now see, if you are not able to remember this directly, for we will see the upcoming problems, it's okay. The way we derived, the same way you can do the things, okay? But if your memory is sharp and under examination pressure, if you able to recall this formula, it is very good. It will save a lot of time. And this equation when we will use, when they'll say to cover downstream, the time required is t, and for example to cover upstream, okay, it will take twice time, thrice time, okay, or 4 times, 5 times, that much of time is taken by the same boat or a man, okay. So this type of problems they will give, we'll see in the next example. So for now this is clear, okay, this is easy, right? Now let's move to the next example. Okay, so here is the problem. Now this is a kind of like type 1 problem. We are going to see different types of problems which are asked in MPSC and UPSC examination, and this is asked in 2020 examination. Okay, now see or read the problem first, as I said, and parallelly write down the given data. A man takes twice as long as to row a boat upstream as he does to row it downstream. If the speed of the boat in still water, which is given 9 km per hour, find the speed of the stream. Now, does it sounds like a previous problem, right? So now from previous problems, those who can remember, we have seen u by v, where u is like a speed of a man or a speed of a boat, and v is a speed of a stream, is equals to, if it is taking n number of times to to row the upstream compared to downstream, we have this formula, right? So those who can remember, they can directly put, so what is u? It is a speed of boat which is given 9 km per hour, right? So they will put 9. The speed of the stream we have to find out how much time, okay, n number of times, it is given as twice, that means n equals to 2, so 2 plus 1 divided by 2 minus 1, okay, and that will be 2 plus 1 is 3, and here it is 1, so just do the cross multiplication. Hence 3v is equals to 9, v is equals to 3 kilometer per hour, right? And hence the option number b is correct. So this is when, now see how much time it will take, hardly 10 seconds, 15 seconds, right? Now let us try to solve if we do not recall the formula, okay, the same way we did in the last problem. And why I am redoing it again, so that you will not forget the thing. So what is given in the problem? So always in a problem, when you do not remember the formula, write down like this: downstream, and here it is upstream, and downstream just write faster, so that you will not make a mistake of u plus v or u minus v, right? So here we are going to use the same symbols. So u is a speed of boat in still water, v is a speed of stream, so let's put those things here. So for downstream it will be faster, right? Hence u plus v. Here u is given, right? So u value is given 9, and v we have to find out. For upstream it is u minus v, and hence it will be like 9 minus v for upstream. The second also condition is given. So in downstream, if that boat was taking time t, the in upstream, now the same boat is taking twice the time compared to downstream. We know in a speed time distance formula, we have only this formula: speed is equals to distance divided by time, okay, and in such problem the distance is same, and hence shall I write distance is equals to speed into time, the same way we did while deriving the equation. Now what we need to do is, this distance is same, So for upstream, what will be the condition? Okay, for downstream, let us consider. Here we have written the first downstream. So speed in the downstream is how much? 9 plus v, right? And the time is how much? Capital T. Okay, equal to, this distance is same for like upstream and downstream. So downstream we have written for upstream, what is the speed? Okay, again speed into time we have to write. So what is the speed? The speed is 9 minus v into what is the time taken? It is 2t. Now we just have to solve this problem and we will get the value of v, right? So t and t get cancelled. So just write down the equation again. 9 plus v, that will be equals to, now multiply inside the brackets. So 9 into 2 is 18 minus 2v. And hence if this v comes here, so it will become 3v is equals to 18 minus 9 will become 9, and v is equals to 3 kilometer per hour. And that is what it is asked in the examination, okay, to find out the value of stream. And hence the answer is 3 kilometer per hour. So yes, it has taken some time, but it will not take more than 60 seconds. But if you want to solve like in a fast way, remember the formula. And which was that formula? U by v is equals to n plus 1 divided by n minus 1. And if you cannot recall the formula, follow this. Now let's move to the another example.
Okay, so here is like question number 2. The speed of the boat in still water. So as I said, we have to write down while reading the problem. The speed of the boat is 15 kilometer per hour, and the speed of the stream is given, which is 3 kilometer per hour. The boat takes 10 hours for a round trip to a certain point. What is the distance of that point? Okay, now it is taking 10 hours for a round trip. Round trip means what? It is going for, let's say, downstream and then again coming back as an upstream. And if I cover this total thing, okay, the time taken is 10 hours. So combining downstream and upstream. Okay, that is what is mentioned in the problem. Now, as I said, again write downstream here and write down upstream here. Okay, for a downstream, so D, it is faster, it is U plus V. U plus V is like 15 plus 3 equals to 18 kilometer per hour. And for upstream, U is equals to again 15 minus 3 equals to 12 kilometer per hour. So we have the upstream and downstream speeds now. Now let us consider the distance is D, right? For downstream, and for upstream the distance is same, and hence in 10 hours the distance covered will be what? D plus D, because it is going downstream and coming back the same distance. If this distance is D, this distance is D. 10 hours is for both downstream and upstream, and hence the total distance will be 2D. As I said, for speed, time and distance, we have only one formula. Speed is equals to distance divided by time. Now let us consider for upstream. Okay, so we have upstream and downstream. Again, we have to define time as well. So we have defined the distance covered. Let us say, for example, in a downstream, the time taken is capital T. Then in upstream, obviously it will be like 10 hours minus T, right? Because the total time is 10 hours to cover the distance 2D. So let us consider now the first what we have written is downstream. So speed of downstream is equals to distance of downstream is capital D,
and the time taken in the downstream, what we have considered is t, right? And hence it will remain as it is. So this is equation number 1. And speed of downstream is, we call it as capital D, and that value is also known, and that value is 18 km per hour, and hence d by t is equals to 18 km per hour, and hence distance is equals to 18t. So this is one thing. Now for upstream, u is equals to, again, distance covered is again the same distance, but the time is how much? So time will be obviously 10 minus t. Okay, and we know the value of u we have calculated, which is 12, and hence d is equals to, so 12 into 10 is 120 minus 12t. Again, can you see this equation and this equation as like of the distance covered in upstream and downstream is same? So can I equate these two equation? I can. 18t is equals to 120t minus 12t. So what I did is I have just equated this RHS side, and hence I think, okay, here it is not t. So when it is coming in this direction, so 18t plus 12t, it is 30t is equals to 120, and hence time taken is how much? It is 4 hours. And what is t? It is time required to row downstream, and hence this is how much? 4 hours. And hence the time required to row in upstream will be how much? 10 minus 4, it is 6 hours. What we have to calculate here? What is the distance of that point? We have to calculate the small d. So let us put this t in any equation. So let's say here, hence d is equals to 18t, and that is equals to 72. This is distance, right? So it is kilometer. Now let's see which is the option. The option number A, and hence the option number A is correct. Right? So whatever the problems we have seen, the methodology is same. Okay, it is just that the problem is somehow twisted, and we are solving those problems. Let's move to the next example. So we are at type 3. So in this problem, so this type of problem is like a halfway or midway twist, and this is like a UPSC's favorite kind of problem to test the student if they are reading carefully what is given in the problem. Okay, the approach will remain similar. We just need to understand the logic in the problem. Okay, let's try to read out the problem. A boat travels downstream from point A to B. Okay, so they have given a boat which is traveling in downstream. So let us say the stream is flowing in this direction, and from point A to point B, let us say the boat is going, and it returns to point C, and from here the boat is returning. That means from B till point C it is covering upstream, right? So this is downstream, this is upstream, and boat is, let's say, coming back to point C. And here what they are saying, the C is exactly midway between AB. So if I consider, this distance as x, okay, AC distance as x, then CB distance will be also x, and hence the AB distance, the total distance will be 2x. This is clear. Now what they have given, if the speed of the boat is 12 km per hour, so speed of boat is given 12 km per hour, and the speed of the stream is given also 3 km per hour. So speed of stream is 3 km per hour, and the total time is 11 hours. Now this total time is what? The boat is going from A to B and then coming back to C. This total time is 11 hours. So see, using this, can we frame a equation? So total time is given, which is equals to 11 hours. Now which is this total time? The boat which is traveling from A to B, who is giving in, like who is going in downstream direction, right? So time required in a downstream plus time required to flow in upstream, let's say TU, is equals to 11 hours. That is what given. Now from A to B is a downstream, right? So how much is the distance in a downstream? So let us say the distance in the downstream is how much? It is x plus x, right? Which is 2x. And the distance in the upstream is how much? It is now coming back from like B to C. The distance is x only. Now we know in a time speed distance we have only one formula, which is like speed is equals to distance divided by time. This is the only formula. Now for upstream and downstream we have to frame this equation. So what we have one equation which is in terms of downstream and upstream. So let us try to write this equation in terms of t. So in terms of t, shall I write? It will be like distance divided by speed. So for upstream, okay, the distance in the upstream divided by speed in the upstream. So have we calculated the upstream and downstream speed? Not yet, right? So let us calculate that. So u is like speed in upstream. So in upstream, how much it will be? It is u minus v. The boat speed will be slower, right? So what is u? It is 12. What is v? It is 3, and hence it is 9 kilometer per hour. Similarly for downstream, the boat will go faster in downstream, and hence it will be like 12 plus 3, and it will be 15 kilometer per hour. Let's put these in this equation. So this is first equation. So again tu is equals to what is distance covered in the upstream. So in upstream they have covered only x distance. And what is the speed in upstream? That is 9. Okay, so similarly do it for a downstream. So for downstream it will be like this, right? And hence distance covered in downstream. So in the downstream we have seen the boat is going from E to B. The total distance covered is 2x, and the speed in the downstream is 15 kilometer per hour. Now we have TD, we have TU. So let's put both these values in this equation. Okay, so instead of TD, what I'll write? X by 9 plus TU. So what is TU? Okay, so uh, I think I have written here TU. So what is TD? So first we have to write TD. It is 2x by 15 plus TU, which is x by 9, is equals to 11. That is what it is given. Now from this equation, can we calculate the value of x? Okay, those who are expert in solving the equations, let's find out the value of x. Okay, and what is x? It is distance, so it will come in kilometer. Tell me the value in comment section. And for those who are weak in solving equation, follow me. So let us do the cross multiplication for this equation, and hence it will be 18x plus 15x. Okay, and in denominator it will be 15 into 9 equals to 11. Okay, so 18x plus 15x, so that will be equals to 33x divided by, now like 15 nines is how much? It is 135 is equals to 11. Now can I say 11 ones are 11, 11 threes are 33. I can write this way, right? And hence x is equals to 135 divided by 3. Now tell me what it will come. So it will come around 45 kilometer. Now what the students will do, they will simply try to tick this option, but this is not they have asked in the examination. For example, if we calculate the value of x, fortunately here, I mean in option we don't have 45 kilometer, the option here 45 kilometer, but if it is there, students by mistake can tick that part. Okay, what they are asking to find the distance between a and b, so it is 2x, right? And hence 45 into 2 is 90 kilometer. Now which is that option? Is option number C, and hence option number C is correct. So till here all good. Let's move to the another type of example. Okay, now let's move to type number 4. So this is a kind of advanced problem, and you can consider yourself as a like a challenge level section. Okay, this problem. Okay, so what is given? So boat covers 30 kilometer upstream. So what we have to write down? So here it is upstream section. Here it is a downstream section. So downstream is always fast. Okay. So a boat covers 30 kilometer in upstream. The distance covered in upstream is 30 kilometer, and 44 kilometer in downstream. The distance covered in downstream is 44 kilometer in 10 hours. Okay. Now that means that time in upstream and time in downstream, that total time is given 10 hour. So that is the first condition, and this is the first equation. Okay, so this is the first condition and that is the first equation. Now secondly, what they have given is it can cover 40 kilometer in upstream. So again the second condition is that it can cover 40 kilometer in upstream and 55 kilometer in downstream in 13 hours. Now again tu plus td is given 13 hours. So this is equation number 2. Find the speed of boat in still water. So speed of boat in still water is u. Okay, and that what we have to find out. So do you remember like one of the problem we have solved like this? We made the equation, right? A b, and it was coming in midway, right? So in like this is the kind of similar situation, but here we have like two equations and we have to solve it. Now let us consider the first equation where tu plus td is equals to 10 hours. We know कि speed is equals to distance divided by time, and hence time is equals to distance divided by speed. Now instead of time, what we have to write down? Distance divided by speed. So what is the distance covered in the first condition? It is 30. And how much was the speed? Let us consider the speed is u, plus the distance covered in downstream is how much? 44. And the speed in the downstream is capital D, and that is equals to 10. So this is one of the equation. Now from second equation form similar equation. So in upstream, okay, what is the distance covered? 40 kilometer. What is the speed? It is u. What is the distance covered in downstream? It is 55. What is the distance covered? Capital D is equals to how much hours? It will take 13 hours. So this is let us say equation number 3 and equation number 4. So now here we have like two equations which are like equation number 3 and 4, and two unknowns u and d. So two equations, two unknown, we can solve, right? So this is easy one, looks like, right? So just find out the value of u and d. So u is equals to how much? D is equals to how much? And from that let's calculate what is small u. Okay, so for those who understood like how to solve further, can pause the video here, find out the answer and can comment that answer in the chat section. Okay, for others, like follow me. So from equation number 3 and 4, either eliminate u or either eliminate d, find one of them, and from one of them we can calculate the speed of boat. Now how to do? So let's try to eliminate which one. So 40 and 30 looks close by. So let us try to find out a common factor between these two so that it will be easy for us. So right, so what I'll do, I'll multiply this equation number 3. So equation number 3, I'll multiply it by 4, and equation number 4, I'll multiply it by 3. Now let's do that. So like from equation number 3, okay, I'm going to multiply it by 4. So 4 3s are, it is 120 divided by u plus, okay, 4 into 44, I'll keep it as it is for now, is equals to 40. So this is one equation. Now from equation number 4, I am going to multiply that equation into 3. So 40 into 3, again it is 120 divided by u plus, again this is 55 into 3 divided by d is equals to, okay, 13 into 3. Okay, so here I will write 39. Now do you see this is one of the common factor, right? So let us subtract, for let's say this is equation number 5, this is equation number 6. So let us subtract equation number 6 from equation number 5. So like 120 and 120, now this will get cancelled, right? So I'm just writing it here and I'm subtracting this equation. Again this 4 into 44, 4 into 44 minus 55 into 3, okay, and this 1 by d is common as it is, and this 40 minus 39 is 1, so it will remain as it is, and hence from this equation d is equals to, okay, 4 into 44. So what I will do, I'll take 11 as common out of the bracket so that it will be easy. So if I take 11, so here it will remain only 4. 4 into 4 is 16, minus if I take 11, it will remain only 5. So 5 3 is 15, and hence d is equals to 11. Now tell me what is d? D is a downstream, so u plus v is 11. So we have this equation, right? Now tell me what is u minus v, also that we need to find out. Now d is known. You can put this d in any of the equation. So let us say in equation number 3, I'm putting that. Okay, so this d as 11. So I'll put it as 11 here. So 11 4s are 44, I can write that. So I'll just try to rewrite equation number 3. So it will be like 120 divided by u plus 4 into 4 is 16 divided by d is equals to, so d value we know it is 11, we already put that, so no need to write that here, is equals to 40. Now from this equation, so tell me this 40 minus 16 will be how much? So I'll just rewrite 120 divided by u is equals to 40 minus 16. So it will be 24. And hence now 12 2s are for 24, and hence u is equals to 5, right? The upstream speed is 5. Now can I write u minus v is equals to 5? This is equation number 2. Now what we have to find out is a value of u. Just add these equations, now new equations. So that will be equals to 2u, right? Then v get cancelled, and 11 plus 5, it will be equals to 16, and hence u is equals to 8 kilometer per hour. Now let's see where is that option 8 kilometer per hour. So option number B, and hence option number B is the correct one. This is a lengthy problem, but once you know the logic, it is very easy to solve. Okay, now let us move to the next problem. Okay, now let us see some actual UPSC problems. Now this question is from UPSC CSAT 2020. Now what is asked? A man, okay, a man takes half time in drawing a certain distance downstream than upstream. That means, see, going upstream and downstream. So, if in a downstream, if it is taking time, t, it is taking 2t time in the upstream. That is what given, right? Compared to this, in the downstream, it is just taking a half time. What is the ratio of speed of boat in still water and the speed of the current? It is easy, right? We have seen this u by v is equals to n plus 1 divided by n minus 1. Now this ratio they have asked. Now what is n? It is 2 times, right? Hence 2 plus 1 divided by 2 minus 1 is equals to 3 by 1. That means 3 as to 1 should be the answer. And hence option number D is correct. See how much time required, right? Less than 15 seconds, 20 seconds, right? If you know this formula. Okay, if you don't know the formula, the regular method we have already seen, you can go through that. Okay, let's move to the next PYQ. Okay, so here is the last problem of this session of like boats and streams. So let us try to understand this problem. So two boats, now it is saying like two boats A and B starts simultaneously from opposite ends of a 60-kilometer river stretch. So there is like a 60-kilometer river stretch. So let us consider this is one of the end of river and this is one of the end of river, and this is a reverse like a 60-kilometer stretch. So I'll just mark it as like 60-kilometer. Boat A moves downstream and boat B moves upstream. So let us consider the river is flowing in this direction. Okay. Now here is boat A which is moving in downstream. Downstream means what? The river's direction and the boat's direction is same. And boat B moving in upstream. So let us consider the boat B is coming from here. So here it is boat B is coming in this direction. So A's speed in still water is 12 km per hour. That means the boat speed is given, which we generally denoted by u, but here there are two boats, right? A and B. And hence what I'll consider the speed of boat A that is given in still water, that is 12 kilometer per hour, and the B who is like moving upstream, so its speed is 8 kilometer per hour. Okay, and hence I will write UB is equals to 8 kilometer per hour. If the stream speed is 4 kilometer per hour, so stream speed V is also given, which is 4 kilometer per hour. How much sooner does boat A, okay, how sooner this boat A will reach to the opposite compared to boat B? So this is okay, this is kind of inverse problem which we have seen in previous examples, because previously they have given time difference ki this is taking 4 hours more, 5 hours more. Now that how many number of hours more, so that we need to find out in this problem. The problem is very simple, so let's try to solve this problem. We know for boat A it is moving in downstream direction, and we know downstream it means fast, that means it is u plus v, and here u value is 12 kilometer per hour because it is for boat A and the stream speed is 4, and hence d is equals to 16 kilometer per hour, right? And now upstream, in upstream the boat B is moving, right? Hence the u is for boat B which is 8 minus the stream speed which is 4, and hence u is equals to 4 kilometer per hour. And they are asking us to find out the time difference between these two boats, right? Now we know speed is equals to distance divided by time, and hence time is equals to distance divided by speed, obviously, right? Now here time taken by boat A is distance covered by boat A and boat B is same, right? Which is 60 kilometers. So I'll put that value directly 60 kilometer. And the speed of boat A, that is, I mean, the speed we have to find out in upstream, right? Sorry, the boat A is going in downstream
and that speed is 16 kilometer per hour. Similarly, if I want to find out the total time taken by B, the distance is same, but the speed is now 4. What they asked, the how sooner the boat A will reach. That means time taken by B is more than time taken by A. Obviously, right? Boat B is taking more time compared to A. Hence, we have to find out TB minus TA. That will be equals to, now what is TB? It is 60 divided by 4. And what is TA? It is 60 divided by 16. So what I will do to have like same denominator, I'll multiply these two by 4. Okay. Now my new equation will be like 240 divided by 16 minus 60 divided by 16. Now see, my denominator is same and hence I can subtract these two, and hence 180 divided by 16 is the answer. Okay. Now let's try to simplify. I can divide it by 4. So 4 4s are 16 and 4 5s are 20 and 4 4s are 16. So answer will be this. So how much will be the answer? So 4 divided by, 45 divided by 4. So 4 ones are 4. Okay, here it is 0. I am taking it as down 5. 4 ones are again 4. So the remaining will be 1. So point something. So let's see if there is, answer nearby this 11 point something. And we can see the option number A. And hence the answer is 11.25 hours. Okay. So we have covered like previous year questions, and here I refer to the types of questions which are asked in the respective examinations like UPSC and MPSC. And out of these types, the UPSC board as well as the MPSC board will not go beyond. So this is the kind of a master class for you. Revise the problems which we have taken in this session, okay, and revise these problems like multiple times. Apart from these problems, there is very less probability of like having a new question or new type of question. Okay, and if there is a new question in the next year session, we will add that. So if you are loving this series, don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel. So we just started and we need your support to grow. Okay, so see you in the next videos. And through shorts, we are trying to convey some short methods. We are also trying to cover a type of problems which we missed during this long sessions. So we will cover there in shorts. So also don't forget to check out the shorts. Okay. So instead of scrolling unnecessary shorts, let's learn something. So see you in the next video. Till then, bye bye. Have a good day. Enjoy your life.